You felt it, that sudden rush of emotion. Something happens, someone says something, and before you know it, you're in reaction mode. Whether it's anger, frustration, or even fear, your emotions take control and dictate your response. And if you're honest with yourself, those reactions rarely make things better. But what if you could change that? What if you had the power to pause, breathe, and choose how you respond, no matter what life throws at you? That's the power Stoicism offers. The ability to master your emotional triggers, remain calm in the face of chaos, and develop an inner strength that's unshakable. This is not about suppressing emotions, but about mastering them, turning every trigger into an opportunity to practice strength, focus, and resilience. And if you learn how to do this, you'll not only transform how you respond in the moment, but you'll build a mind that's strong enough to handle anything. So let's dive into the Stoic way of mastering emotions. Let's learn how to control your reactions. The core of Stoic thought revolves around the dichotomy of control, a powerful principle laid down by Epictetus and preserved by his student Arrian. The idea is simple. There are things you control and things you don't. Your thoughts, actions, and responses, those are yours. Everything else, other people's opinions, external circumstances, and random events, those are beyond your control. Once you internalize this, you unlock a type of freedom few people ever achieve. You no longer waste energy fighting what you can't change. Instead, you focus entirely on what you can control, sharpening your reactions and mastering the emotional triggers that once derailed you. Imagine yourself as a Spartan warrior standing in the heat of battle. You can't control the enemy's next move, nor can you predict the exact outcome of the fight. But you can control your focus, your stance, your weapon's grip, and that's enough to win. Life operates the same way. The more you channel your energy into what you can manage, the stronger your reactions become, and the less emotional chaos you allow to invade your mind. Arrian of Nicomedia wasn't just Epictetus' student. He was a military commander, historian, and philosopher in his own right. He faced political instability and war, yet managed to preserve Stoic wisdom for future generations. This act of courage is a reminder. Mastery over emotion isn't about living in a bubble. It's about keeping your mind sharp and steady, even when life around you is chaotic. Arrian's act of preserving Stoic knowledge shows that inner calm doesn't come from avoiding challenges, but from mastering yourself in the midst of them. Think about your own life, those moments where the world seems out of control. What if instead of letting the chaos dictate your response, you could rise above it, like Arrian, and maintain your focus on what truly matters? A foundational Stoic exercise is the premeditation of evils, which involves vividly imagining worst-case scenarios before they happen. This isn't about fear, but about preparation. By pre-visualizing challenges, you take the power out of emotional triggers. Picture this. You're about to give a major presentation at work, and the fear of failure begins to creep in. Now, instead of pushing that fear away, you bring it to the forefront of your mind. You imagine stumbling over your words, dealing with a critical audience, or facing technical difficulties. You let yourself feel the discomfort, but as you do, you also mentally rehearse how you'll stay calm and handle it. By the time you step onto the stage, you're not afraid. You've already dealt with the worst in your mind, and now you're ready for whatever comes. That's the power of Stoic preparation. You embrace the possibility of failure, discomfort, or even rejection, so that these triggers lose their emotional bite. You face fear head-on and come out stronger. Sotion of Alexandria, a lesser-known Stoic philosopher, gave us a simple yet life-changing tool for emotional mastery: daily reflection. He taught his students to review their day, examining their emotional responses and asking themselves, did I react with reason, or did I let my emotions take over? Now picture yourself applying this today. Every night, before bed, you reflect on your reactions throughout the day. You consider the moment someone cut you off in traffic. Did you let road rage flare up? Or you think back to the frustration you felt during a work meeting. Did that frustration lead you to snap at a colleague? This reflective practice isn't about guilt, it's about awareness. By identifying your emotional triggers and how you responded, you start to understand your patterns. Once you see the patterns, you can begin to change them. Day by day, you become more conscious of how you let emotions guide your actions. And soon, you're no longer a slave to those emotions. You've mastered them. Heraclitus, though not a Stoic, profoundly influenced Stoicism with his belief in the constant flux of life. He famously said, "You cannot step into the same river twice." The world is in constant motion, and our emotions often arise when we resist this change. Heraclitus teaches us that much of what triggers emotional turmoil stems from our unwillingness to accept life's flow. Now imagine your life as a river. Every day, you experience new waters, challenges at work, arguments with loved ones, moments of unexpected joy. When you fight against the current, resisting change or clinging to how things should be, you create your own suffering. But when you flow with the river, accepting the ups and downs, letting go of rigid expectations, you begin to master your emotional reactions. By adopting Heraclitus's view of life's constant change, you gain the ability to adapt, flex, and move with challenges instead of being emotionally derailed by them. To the Spartans, honor was everything. Fear of death was secondary to the fear of dishonor. In their world, retreat was worse than death, and this unwavering belief fueled their courage in battle. This mindset can be applied to mastering fear in our modern lives. When faced with an emotional trigger, whether it's fear of failure, rejection, or embarrassment, ask yourself, what's more important, succumbing to the fear or standing firm in my values? If you adopt the Spartan mindset, you'll see that backing down from challenges leads to more regret than any temporary discomfort. The courage to act despite fear is where true emotional strength comes from. Instead of running from emotional pain, you face it head on, and every time you do, you grow stronger, just like a Spartan warrior facing battle. Cleanthes was a Stoic philosopher who lived a life of remarkable endurance and humility. He worked as a water carrier at night to support his philosophical studies during the day. Yet, he never complained about his hardships. Instead, he accepted them as part of his path. Cleanthes' story reminds us that endurance is key to mastering emotional triggers. When life becomes difficult, when stress, frustration, and emotional pain come your way, it's easy to react impulsively or give up. But what if, like Cleanthes, you saw each hardship as part of your personal growth? What if, instead of reacting to the frustration of a difficult job or the emotional sting of rejection, you used those moments to cultivate strength? Cleanthes teaches us that it's not about avoiding emotional triggers, but enduring them with grace and using them as tools for personal growth. Seneca once compared the mind to a fortress. He believed that emotions and external triggers could only disturb us if we opened the gates and let them in. The mind, therefore, must be guarded like a well-protected castle. Now, picture your mind as a fortress. Outside, forces like criticism, anger, fear, and doubt try to storm the gates. But you are the gatekeeper. You decide what enters and what stays outside. By cultivating self-awareness, you control which emotional triggers you allow to influence your thoughts and actions. This visual reinforces the idea that mastery over emotions is an active process. You must stand guard over your mind and consciously choose what thoughts and feelings you let in. Only by doing this can you maintain inner calm and prevent emotional reactions from controlling you. Antipater of Tarsus, the head of the Stoic school in Athens, exemplified how to stay rational and calm under immense pressure. Leading one of the most respected philosophical institutions during a time of philosophical conflicts, Antipater never let emotions sway his decisions. He mastered the art of stepping back from the heat of the moment to see the bigger picture. This aligns with Marcus Aurelius's view from above, exercise, where you mentally zoom out of your problems to see them in the grand scheme of life. When you rise above your current challenges, they often shrink in significance, and what once triggered intense emotions becomes manageable. In your own life, when emotions run high, pause Imagine yourself stepping back and seeing your problem from a higher perspective. Does this challenge define your entire life? Will it matter a year from now? As you zoom out, you'll often realize that most of the things that trigger emotional reactions are temporary, small, in the grand scheme of your life, and hardly worth the energy you give them. Antipater's ability to keep a level head, to rise above emotional squabbles and philosophical disagreements, is an inspiring reminder that your ability to control your reactions stems from perspective. When you adopt the view from above, your emotional triggers lose their power. You can face challenges with a calm mind, knowing that no single setback, frustration, or anger will derail your life's journey. The agoge, the rigorous Spartan education and training system, was designed not just to toughen bodies, but to harden minds. Every Spartan boy went through years of relentless physical and mental challenges, conditioning them to be fearless in battle. But the key to their mental resilience wasn't just physical toughness. It was how they trained their minds to see every obstacle as a test, a challenge to overcome. The agoge mind can be applied to your everyday life. Instead of viewing emotional triggers, stress, anxiety, frustration, as setbacks, you can view them as mental training. Every time you experience fear, frustration, or anger, see it as a test of your mental endurance. Rather than reacting impulsively, pause and remind yourself that this is a moment for growth. Spartans didn't train for comfort, they trained for battle. Likewise, if you want to master your emotions, you must be willing to embrace discomfort, face emotional triggers, and turn them into opportunities for mental strengthening. Dinacus, the Spartan warrior who fought at Thermopylae, gave one of the most memorable lines in ancient history. When told that the Persian arrows would blot out the sun, he responded with humor. "Good, then we shall fight in the shade." This wasn't just a quip. It was a reflection of his ability to face overwhelming fear with calm, clarity, and even humor. Think about your own fears. They may seem as large as the Persian army at times, threatening to overwhelm you. But if you can find humor, even in the face of your greatest challenges, you take away fear's power. Dinacus teaches us that you don't have to take every emotional trigger so seriously. Sometimes, humor is the ultimate deflection, allowing you to remain calm and focused when life feels overwhelming. Humor can serve as a mental shield, diffusing tension and transforming fear into something manageable. Next time fear rears its head, remember Dinacus. Smile at your fear and then, calmly, prepare to face it head-on. Stoicism isn't just a philosophy, it's a tool, a weapon of the mind that allows you to conquer emotional triggers and respond to life with calm rationality. Arrian's preservation of Stoic wisdom, Cleanthes' relentless endurance, Heraclitus' acceptance of change, and the Spartan warrior's fearless approach to battle all teach us the same lesson. Emotional mastery comes from preparation, perspective, and discipline. When you recognize that your emotional reactions are often triggered by things beyond your control, you gain the power to shift your focus inward, toward the one thing you always control, your response. When you adopt Stoic principles and practice seeing every emotional trigger as a test, you build mental strength that is unshakable. Emotional triggers will always be part of life. The question is, will you let them control you, or will you take the reins and master your reactions? By applying the Stoic exercises of the premeditation of evils, the agoge mind, and the view from above, you'll find that every moment of emotional turmoil becomes an opportunity for growth, an opportunity to strengthen your mind and your spirit. Master your reactions, and you master your life. The choice is yours.